When I was a kid, I'd sometimes lie in bed at night and wonder, will I always be me? Or would I one day wake up and be someone else? I think I'm the same person because I remember how I got from there to here, but who would I be if I had made different choices? Like, what if I hadn't successfully evaded Beth Johnson when she threatened to neck me to death behind the portables in the fifth grade? Where would I be today? Join me on this episode as we dive into the alternate self trope, where characters come face to face with themselves, and the results are always mind bending. How do the titles look? I haven't made them yet, so I'm not sure. The alternate self is one of my favorite tropes to play with. It explores identity, fate, and the consequences of the different paths we take across the spread of our lives. Whether brought about through time travel, the multiverse, mind uploading, or magic, these stories make us ask, what makes me, me? Think Will Riker and his teleportation accident twin Thomas, or any number of Marvel heroes meeting versions of themselves across the multiverse. It provides a perfect opportunity for conflict and character growth, because we can explore alternate decisions our characters could have made but didn't, and show how their lives changed because of it. It allows us to show facets of our characters we couldn't otherwise explore, and gives our main characters glimpses into what they're capable of, things they may never have believed possible about themselves. The conflict is baked right in. I've used it in the form of digitized consciousnesses, where two versions of the same character experience very different lives after one of them breaks bad, and in a more comic booky superhero multiverse style, where the main character meets another version of herself, an older, cooler model who's everything she's not. Being able to use these alternates to contrast characters and generate conflict is a fantastic tool for the writer, and can make for great reading. Here are some of my favorite mind-bending, thrilling, and terrifying books that explore this idea. The Dark Half by Stephen King. Thad Beaumont is a successful author who has secretly written violent crime novels under the pseudonym George Stark, but when Thad decides to kill off his pen name and go public, things take a horrifying turn, because George Stark refuses to die. Somehow, the pseudonym becomes a real person, committing brutal murders and terrorizing Thad's life, demanding to keep existing. This book is a great example of the alternate self trope, as Stark is literally a twisted, violent version of the main character. And it also explores themes of identity and how it's tied to creativity, as Thad pours himself into his work, and then watches as that part of him refuses to stay supernatural. This is King at his best, psychological horror meets supernatural thriller, as he explores duality and repression, and for us writers, it makes us think, what does it say about us that we're so eager to create characters to torment? Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Jason Desson is an ordinary physics professor with a wife and son until he's kidnapped by a masked man, drugged, and wakes up in a world where his life took a completely different path. In this alternate reality, he's a world-famous scientist who never married, never had a family, and made different choices. The worst part? The man who kidnapped him might have been himself. This is a fast-paced, high-stakes thriller that marries the concept of parallel lives with the quantum multiverse, as the main character encounters different versions of himself, each shaped by the different choices he could have made over the course of his life. It raises a host of existential questions, like, if you made different choices, would you still be you? Or if someone replaced you with another version, would the people you care about even notice? It's terrifying to think about, but that won't stop you from turning the pages. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Dr. Henry Jekyll is a well-respected scientist who creates a serum that allows him to separate his darker instincts from his more refined personality. When he drinks the potion, he transforms into Edward Hyde, a cruel, remorseless version of himself who indulges in violent and hedonistic pleasures. As Jekyll loses control, Hyde's presence becomes more dangerous and permanent. Unlike multiverse versions or doppelgängers, Jekyll's alternate self is physically inside him. The novel questions whether good and evil can truly be separated in a person. Jekyll initially controls his transformation, but over time, Hyde takes over, mirroring the fear of losing oneself. This is the grandfather of all dual identity horror stories. Its influence can be seen in everything from The Dark Half to Fight Club, and delves into the moral and philosophical questions about human nature. It's short but powerful, a quick read that leaves a lasting impact. The alternate self trope shows up a lot in comics, But outside of multiverse shenanigans and time travel, this isn't a trope that seems often used. Anyone have any favorites? And hey, if you enjoyed this, give it a like, it really helps the channel. And watch this video next. Whatever it is, you'll probably like it.